You ever stared at your phone, wondering why he suddenly stopped replying, even though everything seemed fine just days ago? One moment, he's all in, texting, calling, making plans, and then out of nowhere, silence, no explanation, no warning, just cold, empty space. If you're watching this right now, you're probably asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But let me tell you something that no one else will. Being ignored is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of how much you've tolerated disrespect. Most women are taught to be patient, understanding, forgiving. But in the dating world, that often translates into being walked over. And when a man senses that he can ignore you without consequences, he will. But here's the twist. What if I told you that his silence is actually your biggest opportunity? What if this moment, the one where you feel invisible, could become the turning point, where you regain the power? Because in this video, I'm not just going to help you get his attention back. I'm going to help you teach him, without saying a word, the real price of ignoring a woman who knows her value. You won't need games. You won't need to beg. You'll just need strategy, confidence, and the right mindset to flip the dynamic completely. So before you send another text, before you replay that last convo one more time, watch this to the dead. By the time we're done, he'll be the one wondering what happened to you. Let's begin. Let's clear something up right now. When a man starts ignoring you, it's rarely about you doing something wrong. That's the first lie we tell ourselves. Maybe I was too clingy. Maybe I came on too strong. Maybe I should have said less or more. You start replaying every detail, trying to find the exact moment he lost interest. But here's the reality. His silence isn't always triggered by you. It's often rooted in him. Sometimes men ignore women not because they've lost interest, but because they feel too much. Yes, you heard that right. A woman who radiates confidence, clarity, and emotional intelligence can actually intimidate a man who isn't emotionally mature or ready to match her energy. Instead of stepping up, he pulls back, not because he doesn't want you, but because he doesn't know how to handle you. Other times he ignores you because he's testing boundaries. Men subconsciously test what they can get away with. If he starts withdrawing and you chase, over-explain, or try to prove your worth, he learns that he can disrespect your time and still keep your energy. That's not attraction. That's emotional convenience. And trust me, you deserve more than being someone's mate. There's also another layer: ego. Some men ignore women just to feel powerful, to see if you'll fall apart or come crawling back. It's a manipulation tactic dressed as space. But don't let that confuse you. When someone truly values you, they don't disappear to figure it out. They show up, they communicate. So the next time he goes silent, don't rush to blame yourself. Instead, take a pause. Detach from the emotion and look at the pattern. Is he emotionally available? Does he communicate clearly? Does he respect your effort or just expect? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes he's ignoring you not because he's confused, but because he's already decided you'll wait for him. That ends today. In this video, you're going to learn how to break that cycle, not with drama, but with self-respect that speaks louder than any message you could send. Keep watching. When a man starts to pull away, most women react, not respond. And that's where everything starts to go wrong. The biggest mistake women make in this moment is chasing validation instead of protecting their value. You feel the shift. His texts slow down. The calls stop. And suddenly, you're left trying to fix what you didn't even break. So what do? You send that extra message. You check his stories. You bring up the what's going on conversation. Not because you're weak, but because you're seeking clarity, connection, or closure. But here's the harsh truth. When you move towards someone who is pulling away, you confirm to them that they can give you less, and you'll accept it. And this isn't about playing games. This is about energy. When someone feels your energy chasing theirs, they don't value it. They take it for granted. Because the more available you are to someone who's unavailable, the more they see you as an option, not a priority. Even worse, this moment becomes a trap. You start overanalyzing everything. You think, if I just show him I care, maybe he'll come back. But caring doesn't make someone respect you. Self-respect does. And the problem isn't that you cared. It's that you cared more about how he feels than how you're being treated. You see, the mistake isn't reaching out. It's reaching out when it costs you your dignity. It's breaking your own standards in hopes that someone will return the attention you're missing. But attention isn't affection, and a reaction isn't a relationship. So what should you do instead? You pause. You step back. You remember who you were before the silence. The woman who didn't need to beg to be seen. You give space, not to teach him a lesson, but to remind yourself that you don't chase, you choose. Because the woman who pulls away with grace instead of panic, becomes unforgettable. Not because she played hard to get, but because she refused to shrink herself just to stay in someone's life. Keep watching, because next I'll show you exactly how to flip the dynamic without saying a word. This is the moment everything changes. When you stop asking, why isn't he choosing me? And start asking, do I even want someone who treats me like this? Too often, women fall into the trap of chasing not just attention, but clarity, effort, and consistency. All the things that should be freely given in a real connection. And the problem with chasing isn't just about pride, it's about power. Because the more you chase, the more you train someone to believe that you need them more than they need you. But the truth is, the most powerful shift you can make in dating or in life is moving from a place of chasing to choosing. Choosing means you're no longer waiting for a text to validate your worth. Choosing means you're not losing sleep wondering why he's being distant. Choosing means you're standing in your value and walking away from anything that makes you doubt it. Because when you shift into choosing energy, everything changes. Your tone, your posture, your energy. You no longer need to respond to breadcrumbs, mixed signals, or half effort. You recognize them for what they are. Distractions. And distractions don't deserve your devotion. When you're in chasing mode, you operate from lack. You feel like something is missing, so you try to close the gap. You want reassurance, answers, closure, but choosing energy comes from abundance. You know that you are the prize, and if someone can't see that, that's their limitation, not yours. And let's be clear, this isn't about arrogance. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about recognizing that your time, your love, and your presence are privileges. Not everyone qualifies. So how do you start shifting this dynamic in a real, powerful way? You slow down your responses. You stop leading the conversation. You stop over-explaining your silence. You hold your boundaries not to punish, but to protect your peace. You let someone earn access to your emotional space instead of handing it out for free. Most importantly, you stop negotiating with inconsistency. Because every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach them it's okay to give you less. Choosing energy says, I am open to love, but I won't fight for crumbs. It says, I'm willing to walk away from anything that confuses me. It says, you don't get to ignore me and still feel entitled to my warmth. So if you've been stuck in a loop, giving more, waiting longer, hoping harder, this is your sign to stop. Not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself more. Keep watching. Because next I'm giving you the exact text strategies that make a man realize he just lost something real. Let's talk about texting. Because when a man pulls away or goes silent, the urge to do something can feel overwhelming. But what if I told you that one well-placed message, calm, clear, and confident, could completely shift how he sees you? This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about communicating your value without chasing his attention. The right message doesn't beg for validation. It reminds him who he is, risking losing. Let's break this down. When someone pulls away, most people panic and overtext. You might send a follow-up. Hey, did you get my message? Or something emotional. I feel like you've been distant lately. These may seem honest, but they send a subtle message. I'm not okay without your response, and that gives away your power. Now imagine this instead. Hey, just a heads up. I'm stepping back a bit. I don't chase energy that feels unsure. Boom. No drama, no blame, just a boundary. That kind of message doesn't push him, it shakes him. It signals emotional maturity. It lets him know you see what's happening. And you're not begging for clarity. You've already found it in his behavior. Here's another powerful one. I'm not sure where your head's at, but I know where mine is. I don't invest where I feel uncertain. It's soft but firm. It doesn't accuse. It doesn't complain. It just sets the tone. And men respect tone more than pressure. These messages work because they interrupt the usual pattern. He's expecting you to try harder. Instead, he gets a message that makes him sit up and think, wait, did I just lose her? And yes, sometimes the best message is no message at all. Silence is a message. It says, I noticed your distance, and I'm matching it. That alone can be more powerful than a perfectly crafted text. But here's the rule. Never text from panic. Only text from clarity. If you're unsure whether you're trying to reconnect or trying to prove something, pause. Don't send anything. You're allowed to wait until your energy is grounded. You're allowed to protect your peace. Because when a woman sends a message from self-respect, it lands differently. It hits the ego, the heart, and the memory all at once. It doesn't ask, do you still want me? It says, I won't compete for a spot in your life. If you don't see my value, I'm gone. And once you shift into that energy, where your words align with your standards, everything changes. You become unforgettable, not because you were perfect, but because you were clear. But next, the cold move that works without being cold-hearted. Let's talk about the cold move. The one that makes him stop, think, and realize he may have just lost access to something rare. But here's the catch. The cold move isn't about being bitter, dramatic, or petty. It's about choosing distance with dignity. When someone pulls away, there's a very natural impulse to react, to prove you're worth staying for, to get closure, or even to protect your pride. But the true power lies not in reacting, but in withdrawing your energy calmly, silently, and intentionally. That's the cold move, and it's devastating in the best way. See, most people expect one of two reactions when they act distant. Either you explode or you chase. Both give them control. What they don't expect is peace, detachment, stillness. When you go quiet without anger, it creates a void they didn't prepare for. And that's when your absence becomes louder than any words. So how does the cold move actually work? It's not ghosting. It's not giving the silent treatment out of spite. It's simply removing your warmth where it's no longer appreciated. That means no checking in, no just wanted to say hi, no watching his stories. You stop feeding his ego. You stop entertaining confusion. And you do it not with attitude, but with grace. You stop showing up where you're being overlooked. And that's the difference between being cold and being petty. Pettiness needs attention. Cold confidence walks away and doesn't look back. Here's what you're really doing. You're creating emotional contrast. Before you were available, you were kind, responsive, thoughtful, and then that energy disappears. Not because you're playing a game, but because you are not available for emotional inconsistency. And trust me, he'll feel it. The cold move isn't about punishing him. It's about reminding you what you tolerate, what you deserve, and what you'll never chase again. It's about reclaiming your emotional space and refusing to let someone keep you in limbo. The hardest part, not explaining it. No big speech. No, this is why I'm doing this. The moment you try to justify your cold move, you've softened it. Let your silence say what your words don't need to. And the beautiful part, the cold move protects your self-worth, no matter how he responds. If he comes back, he'll come correct, or not at all. If he does, he was never for you in the first place. The right people don't need to be chased. And when someone realizes they can no longer feel your warmth, they start to question why they ever took it for granted. Keep watching, because now we're stepping into what real high-value woman energy looks like, and how to embody it daily. High-value woman energy isn't about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about owning your worth so deeply that it shows in everything you do. It's a magnetic energy that doesn't scream for attention, but naturally pulls people in, because it's rooted in confidence, self-respect, and emotional balance. So what does it really mean to radiate high-value energy daily? First, it starts with mindset. When you believe you're worthy of respect, love, and happiness, your actions will reflect that belief, even on days when you don't feel your best. It's about setting standards for how you want to be treated and refusing to settle for less. That means not chasing attention, not begging for affection, and not shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectations. High-value energy is quiet but powerful. It shows in the way you carry yourself, your posture, your voice, your calm in moments of chaos. It's not about being loud or demanding. It's about being centered and grounded. When you're centered, you don't react impulsively to every slight or change in mood. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, showing emotional control that few can match. Another key to radiating this energy is self-care. Not just skin deep, but soul deep. Nourish your body with good food and rest. Feed your mind with positive thoughts, inspiring books or uplifting content. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, not drain you. When you invest in yourself consistently, you build an unshakable foundation of self-love and confidence. Boundaries play a huge role too. High-value women know how to say no without guilt. They protect their time, energy, and emotions like the precious resources they are. Saying no to what doesn't serve you is actually a yes to your well-being and growth. Also, independence fuels this energy. Financial, emotional, and social independence make you less vulnerable to manipulation or settling for less than you deserve. You're not waiting on someone else to complete you. You're already whole. Finally, high-value woman energy shines brightest through authenticity. Being true to yourself, unapologetically, creates a magnetic aura. When you stop trying to please everyone and start honoring your own truth, you naturally attract the right people who respect and admire the real you. Remember, this energy isn't about being unapproachable. It's about being irresistibly you. When you live from this place of strength, You don't have to teach anyone the price of ignoring you. They see it immediately. So start today. Small, consistent steps. Practice self-respect, uphold your boundaries, nurture your passions, and most importantly, love yourself fiercely. The world will notice, and so will he. Up next, how to make him regret losing you for good. Making him regret losing you isn't about revenge or bitterness. It's about creating a life so full, so vibrant, and so aligned with your worth that he can't help but notice what he let go. The truth is, regret isn't something you force. It happens naturally when you stop waiting around and start living fully. When a man realizes you've moved on, not out of spite, but out of self-respect, that's when the regret hits hardest. He sees that you're not dependent on him, not begging for his attention, and not willing to settle for less than you deserve. That's a powerful message. So how do you create this energy? First, focus on yourself. Invest in your passions, your goals, and your happiness. When your life is thriving independently, you become magnetic. People are drawn to your confidence and vitality, and the right men will notice that energy immediately. Next, elevate your social circle. Surround yourself with supportive friends who uplift and inspire you. When you're surrounded by positivity and growth, you naturally step into a higher version of yourself. This environment fuels your confidence and reinforces your value. Another key is to avoid showing desperation or neediness. When you act like you're fine without him because you are, he begins to question what he's lost. This doesn't mean pretending to be okay when you're not. It means choosing to prioritize your peace over proving a point. Remember, actions speak louder than words. You don't need to tell him he made a mistake. Your life will say it for you. Whether it's through new achievements, glowing health, or genuine happiness, your progress becomes the silent statement that no amount of words could match. Also, maintain your boundaries firmly. If he tries to come back with apologies or promises, don't fall into old patterns. Respect yourself enough to keep the standards you set. Regret only sticks